This is day 3 of Kingsland in this big KVK, couple of Silver Imperiums, 2728, 3274, a whole bunch of other kingdoms in it. And this is the first KVK that they were pioneer testing the anti-piloting rules that they put in place, or that's supposedly put in place. But have they really done anything? Because typically when you get in day 3 of a Kingsland, somebody's piloting something. So stick around while we go through it and see if this game is actually doing what they said they were going to do right now. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chadsky. I do videos for Rise of Kingdoms all the time, and if you enjoy these videos, please throw a thumbs up on it, give it a like, helps out the videos and the channel. And if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that subscribe button. Does not cost you a thing. Doesn't cost you anything. And join the fellow legion of community we have put together to continue to grow what we're trying to do with the channel and the Discord. My Discord link's down in the description. We are watching day 3 of this Kingsland, okay? I know a whole bunch of people in this KVK, all right? It's been going on for kind of a while now. If you look, this is the KVK with 2728 and 3274. You got 3303 in this thing, and you've got 2965. You got big kingdoms in this KVK. You had some silver imps now that they've killed off some troops, and this is what we're dealing with right now as we're dealing with day 3 of Kingsland. Now, to anybody, let me let everybody in on a little bit of secret, okay? When you get to day 3 of Kingsland, all right, that is generally a good sign that these kingdoms and these camps, even though they might have a downtime, they're staying active quite a bit, okay? And so far in this KVK, the only real punishment we have seen, because this was one of the pioneer KVKs where they were going to implement the anti-piloting situation. Let me show you. This was the mail we got in the game, and it was also announced on their Discord. This is back on April 28th. It went through all the details of what they're going to restrict when it came to piloting, playing on emulators or third-party clients. If there was random and weird, suspicious login activity, you went through all this stuff where it went through exactly what they're going to be monitoring. And we said, hey, yo, this is a step in the right direction. Okay? This is a step in the right direction for those of us who want to get piloting out of the game. And overwhelmingly, the response from the overwhelming majority of the community is like, oh my God, yes. Can we please do this? This game it's Rise of Pilots. We are in the pilot era. Like, if you're going to play anything competitive, A seed or above, you got to have pilots or you're going to get crushed. And so we said, and if you guys remember, I'll have a card in the top of my video when this came out. And I said straight up, you're going to lose credibility as game developers, and you're going to lose credibility with the community if you don't enforce what you say you were going to enforce. Okay, and they've been fighting this KVK. Now, guys, this is no accusation that any of these kingdoms are mass piloting or doing anything crazy like that. But the only thing we have seen in this entire KVK, I believe, was a Zone 5 situation to where one of the kingdoms had an R4 log into too many farms and it shut down the alliance for a day. But the other R4s were able to go into the alliance, kick everybody that could join other alliances, really didn't shut down many players that we've seen or heard of, right? And so from there, we're looking at this saying, okay, well, they really haven't done anything. And when you're in day 3 of a KVK and you're going to have a Zig fight, which is that's what they're fighting for right now, the amount of players in this KVK that are piloting, amount of accounts that are being piloted is overwhelming. Like, it's a lot. And when I say overwhelming, it's not like the majority, but it's just a ton. Trust me. I know a bunch of players in this KVK. Piloting is going on. Nothing is being done about it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? And so I haven't seen anything from anybody. I've asked the players I know in this KVK. They're like, yeah, there's players piloting. Nothing's being done in their account. No big deal. We just continue on. So they might as well have just like not even said anything about this mail so far. Now, I know it's a pioneer testing and they got to figure this thing out, but so far we got nothing. So far, there is no punishments. There's nothing for all these accounts in here that are being played by 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 different people logging into the accounts. Nobody's really scared of that. Nobody's really scared to do anything, because if you don't uphold the rules, nobody really cares. Okay? And so what did Lilith do, I guess, last week? They made an announcement on their official Facebook page where they actually listed out accounts that had been banned. But if you look at this, you can see that they say cheating ruins the game for everyone. Okay, we all agree. Every month, our security team reviews violations, issues penalties, and removes bad actors permanently when necessary. And then they give a list of all these different accounts. Do you know how many? This is on their Facebook page. You can go look at it. Do you know how many of these accounts were actually piloted? Does anybody know? 0. None of them. These are accounts that are using third-party emulators like, BlueStacks, LD Player, and they're barbing or they're gathering resources with multi-instancing. They're using third-party emulators and third-party client managers, if you will. That's it. There's no piloting situation going on here. And everybody was like, oh my God, they're banning cheaters. This is great. They've always done this, guys. They've always banned people who were completely exploiting multi-instancing, who are these RSS sellers who are all over the community, who are running, multi-instance to run one client that does 50 farms at the same time. They've always done that. They're just making it public now. But I don't know if this is a front to let everybody know, hey, oh, by the way, the piloting situation we got going on, don't look at that. Look at all these cheaters that we banned. Well, what about the pilots? Like the actual fighting pilots? Because again, I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Anybody who's fighting a Kingsland for 3 or more days, you're using pilots. A lot of them. Trust me. I've seen it. I've been a part of these kingdoms that do this. I know how this works. We all know how this works. And there is not one person in here that is afraid their account's going to get shut down from piloting. Okay, so that is definitely a fact right now that a lot of these accounts in here are being piloted by multiple people, all right, on one account. And nothing is being done to it. Nothing is being done to any alliances. They're not shutting down alliances. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. So I guess the point of this video is what are we going to do? Are they going to enforce this stuff? They've talked about doing KVKs where we let the kingdoms vote on the rest period with the War Frenzy cooldown, which I hate. You guys know me. Those of us who play this game 20 hours a day during fighting, we're crazy. Yeah, I know we're psychos, but we love the game. So you can vote on that now with War Frenzy. And then you can vote on the anti-piloting, I guess. So from this standpoint, if we're actually going to pioneer test this thing, you're not really doing anything to mitigate the play style of anybody who's using pilots. And in addition to that, they also came out with a conduct score rating system. Okay, let me show this. This is the conduct rating score system. You have a conduct score now to where I guess if you log in from third-party emulators or clients, or I guess if you log in, have multiple logins that are suspicious on your account, you start dropping your conduct score and you get to certain thresholds, under 80, you can't do any resource assistance. And then under 60, you can't do any resource assistance. Under 80, it reduces earnings from gathering and defeating barbarians by 50%. Like I said, under 60 conduct score, you can't do any assistance with your resources. And under 40, you can't log into the account. So now we got a conduct score situation going on to where players have this. I haven't seen this on anybody but people who are doing resources, selling RSS. I have not seen anything like this unless you're selling RSS and stuff. I haven't seen it on any of these players in here. None of them. You can click on any player. Let me see. Let me just find one. This poor guy. You find the conduct score up here. You don't see it on them. They ain't messing around there. That's a main account doing fighting. And so from there, that's one of the things that we get into when it comes to the natural evolution of how we're going to handle this. Now, I don't know what the answer is from Lilith. I don't know if they said, hey, yeah, we started to implement it, but then realized we couldn't do it. I don't know what's going on. But the fact of the matter is, they're not really doing any punishments for piloting. Okay. And I'm not saying that's a bait and switch. I'm not saying they told us and they're not, but they told us and then they're not. Now, I don't know if this is happening and it's going to be a gradual change and they need to get used to it. They need to get used to how to ban accounts or how to cool down accounts so where they can't be logged in if there's been a lot of activity on these accounts, or if they're just going to make it more broad and say, hey, if kingdoms or alliances overwhelmingly abuse this, then we're going to shut those kingdoms or alliances down or whatever. But the bottom line is they're not doing anything to the actual accounts. Dude, guys, I know dozens and dozens and dozens of players in this KVK. And I know one in particular that was like, Chatsky, you know me. I'm going to have my account piloted 24/7 and I'm going to see if they do anything. And they don't do anything. They've done nothing. His account's been online 24/7 and they've done absolutely nothing. So from that standpoint, they got to figure this thing out. They either got to crawl that back and do a little crawfish on that and say, hey, yeah, it is too hard to do. We really can't ban pilots. Or they need to say, hey, as we continue to develop, the punishments will be more and more apparent and frequent, but we just got to get a hold of this. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe it's a pioneer system and that's what they're doing. But as it stands right now, they're doing nothing. Now, we have another KVK that's going to happen. And I'm just telling you boys, like, you go into this KVK right here, you have notorious kingdoms in here that pilot. Notorious. And they just had their zone 5 fighting. I have not heard one thing about accounts being banned or put on cooldown or shut down. But this KVK right here, which is now in zone 5, it's not in Kingsland, this has got the pioneer testing of anti-piloting. And there is nothing going on in here so far. And these got kingdoms that are notorious that will pilot to the hilt. So when zone 7 past 7 opens up and Kingslands opens up and it's multiple days of fighting, and if nothing is being done, then it doubles down that answer that they're not going to do anything. Okay. So this is my issue and this is my beef with this. Okay. It's really not that difficult. If you tell us you're going to do something, and I told them this, I said, you guys got one chance to do this. Like, you got one chance to do this and do it right where people will trust you. But you got to do it. Have the balls to do it. Don't worry about spenders and whales in the game saying they'll quit if you don't let them pilot. Don't worry about that. Those one-offs and those handful of people cannot hijack this game. If you're going to do this and you're going to do it for the right reasons, for the health of the game, and to bring along players, because the way that this game is going to survive, and I've said it many times, the health of this game is almost exclusively the result of new players coming in and staying with the game. If you do not get those new players to get into SOC, you don't have a game. I don't care how many spinners are playing right now that like to pilot. If you don't have new blood, if you don't have a pipeline of new players playing in this game, that's why I'm doing a restart account. I'm trying to create more interest in the early game. But I'm just telling you, a whole lot of those players that are brand new to the early game that I'm playing with, once they see how SOC is done, and if they want to play competitively, they have to pilot, like over half of them are going to quit. And that's what kills a game, okay? And so if you're going to have the balls to do this and say that you're going to get rid of piloting, you're going to put these measures in place and you're going hard on this and there's a conduct score, don't do it and then just basically have like some kind of red herring over here and saying, hey, here are all the accounts that got banned. Dude, they got banned from emulators for resources, for collecting resources and barbing and running forts on your home kingdom. That's what they got banned for. That's a red herring. None of these accounts here were piloted main fighting accounts. So with that, they got to decide. They're going to start hitting a crossroads here to where they're either going to do this or they're not. And if they're not, they need to tell us. They need to tell us you're not going to punish anyone. So with that being said, oh, by the way, we got Zig fights coming, baby. This is going to be crazy. Anyways, that's where we're at with this. I want to hear from you guys. Throw it down in the comments. You guys know my stance on this. Like, I can't wait. If we get rid of piloting, it'd be amazing. If we got rid of piloting, it would be amazing because I grind on this game and I play it like crazy, and it would be awesome to actually go play this game and not have to fight other Kraken accounts that are just being piloted. That would be amazing. You guys know that. I'll have a card at the end screen that goes through the actual difference and how things will change if they actually go through with this. And from what they told us, we thought they were. But so far, it's not. So they got this KVK ending, and then you got the next KVK coming with those kingdoms I was showing you. And if there's nothing being done to piloting, there's nothing being done to alliances who are mass piloting, then we got our answer that they're not really doing anything. And then we got our answer that if they say they're going to do something, they're not going to do it. Or there's a chance they might not do it. So they got to figure this thing out one way or another. Okay? I really don't care which direction they go in. Just don't hoodwink us here. Don't tell us one thing and not do it and do another. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like I said, throw a thumbs up on it, give it a like, get down in my comments, tell me what you guys think. And with that being said, y'all have a great day, broskies.